Some of you may remember George Zimmerman. He's the one who killed Trayvon Martin, assuming that he was breaking into houses, etc. And this was a very big case. It involved stand your ground in a very racially divided America and led to the creation of Black Lives Matters. Now, George Zimmerman has decided that he's going to sue the parents of Trayvon Martin and the prosecutors of his case for $100 million in what he claims is the fabrication of evidence against him. Now, his attorney, Larry Klayman, announced the lawsuit in tandem with a Coral Gables screening of a documentary called The Trayvon Hoax, which has since been canceled. The lawsuit alleges a malicious prosecution, abusive process, and civil conspiracy and defamation. In other words, this is George Zimmerman's didn't do nothing moment. It seeks compensatory and actual damages of more than $100 million and leaves open the possibility of an additional claim for punitive damages. $100 million isn't even enough for him. The chief allegation in the lawsuit is that the civil rights attorney Ben Crump helped to swap out a reluctant witness, Brittany Diamond Eugene, for her half-sister Rachel Gentile, and helped prepare her to deliver a script intended to land Zimmerman in prison for the 17-year-old's killing on February 26, 2012. Crump began representing Trayvon's parents starting the 28th of February 2012, the lawsuit says. The suit accuses Trayvon Martin's parents, prosecutors, state authorities of going along with the alleged ruse and are alleged to have either known about or should have known about the witness fraud, obstructed justice, or lied repeatedly under oath in order to cover up their knowledge of the witness fraud. So that's essentially his case in a nutshell. They think that they gave a bad witness, so therefore what he did wasn't wrong. So we should keep in mind, however, that the prosecution decided when they declared Zimmerman not guilty was that there was not enough evidence to disprove Zimmerman's claim. Because, of course, Trayvon Martin can't speak for himself because he's dead. That doesn't mean he didn't do anything wrong. It just means they couldn't disprove what Zimmerman claimed. Now, this lawyer, Klayman, now, he founded the conservative watchdog group called Judicial Watch and has filed several lawsuits in the past along these lines, including the famous birther lawsuit. That's right, you remember when Obama's birth certificate was such a huge thing and it had to go to court? This is the guy who did it. This is the kind of lawsuits he creates. Very obviously politically motivated ones. Now, obviously, this doesn't reflect on the legitimacy, or lack thereof, of Zimmerman's case, but it certainly does speak much to the politically motivated nature of the lawsuit. Now, what's very interesting, now, despite the Zimmerman saying, I never have a history of violent confrontation, even though he did, he has since then continued to repeat a pattern of violent and aggressive behavior, demonstrating the opposite of what he claimed in court, which was part of his defense, that he wasn't a violent person, yet his behavior since then certainly nullifies that. A few weeks after his acquittal in 2013, Zimmerman was pulled over for speeding in northern Texas and sent on his way with a warning. That November, police arrested him at his then-girlfriend's home of Apopka, Florida. He was held on suspicion of aggravated assault and misdemeanor counts of domestic violence, battery, and criminal mischief, but the woman later asked the charges be dropped. Zimmerman was never prosecuted. In January 2015, another girlfriend accused Zimmerman of throwing a wine bottle at her, leading to his arrest. The woman later backed off on her claims and charges were never filed, police said. Months later, he was shot in a road rage incident in Lake Mary, Florida, and suffered minor injuries. The suspect was sentenced to 20 years in prison after a trial. You know what I really think in this case? I think Klayman, and through the documentary that was produced, The Trayvon Hoax, have convinced Zimmerman that he's completely innocent and that they fabricated evidence against him. I think that with enough talking to, they've convinced Zimmerman that there was a conspiracy against him, which is not hard to do to a racist. Racists already have that kind of thinking anyway. So to be able to feed into that and push that kind of paranoid thinking should be fairly easy. And I think that's what happened here. I think Zimmerman probably, for the most part, wanted everybody to forget about what happened. But now he's come back with a $100 million lawsuit, and I think it's because he's been talked into it by the same people who created this. God, I haven't seen the documentary. It's called The Trayvon Hoax, but I think we can probably guess what's already there and what it's already about, and it's frankly disgusting. And then they went and found possibly one of the most disingenuous lawyers, in my opinion, that has ever existed. A guy known for filing frivolous and baseless lawsuits like the entire Obama birther movement. So, on another level, think about this. He's suing the parents with a dead child that he killed, which, frankly, everyone knows he did it because he's a racist. He saw a black person and thought, oh, well, there's been crime around here, therefore it must have been the black person who did it, and then targeted him because of that, and ended up killing him. Imagine that. You're walking back home from the store at night, and some psycho jumps you, trying to detain you and assaulting you, and you defend yourself, and then he shoots you dead, saying, oh, well, I had to defend myself, he assaulted me. Well, yeah, because you attacked him first. But I mean, that's going way into the merits of the actual case against Zimmerman, etc. And that's not what this is about. What this is about is this is a metaphorical rubbing salt into the wounds of people who have lost a child and then got thrown onto the national stage because of this. I mean, this is absolutely despicable. This guy murdered somebody's child, and then turn around and wants money because somebody's pumped a conspiracy theory into his head. And that's what I think this is all about. And probably the worst part about all this is that this is going to blow up into something much bigger. There's going to be a big backlash against this. And if, God forbid, he were to actually win, there would be a great deal of social unrest as a result of it, and rightfully so. And that's going to create a whole new problem altogether. It wasn't enough for Zimmerman just to accept the fact that he had been found innocent of the, in my opinion, murder that he carried out. But he had to come back and make everything worse, and could not possibly have made anything worse by filing this frivolous lawsuit. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.